Hey guys, welcome back to Harsh Worded Tenderhearted. As we know, we are Ontario girlies, Canadian girlies,
Yeah.
and we have our post-secondary education is split into college life or university life. As we also know, I was a university-bound student who dropped out of college 3 times. And as we also know, Kai is a university graduate
Who is now in college.
who's about to finish her first year of college. So Kai's a little bit more well-versed in the college, university, post-secondary life. But we thought it would be fun to do a college expectations versus reality episode, or like the differences between university and college for all those kids that are graduating in a couple months, trying to pick where to go,
What to do with
Yeah.
your life, where to sign your life away.
which I still think is way too young to be deciding at 17
Yeah,
and 8
they
years
prep
old.
you. They start prepping you. Well, like I was in elementary school when I remember we did like this, I forgot what it was called, but we did like this personality test
Yeah.
where it matched us with like our best like career, what we would do best at for our personality, and we were literally like in grade 3.
That's crazy.
4.
And like the fact that like where we live, you take like a careers class when you're in grade 10.
Yeah, you're like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 17 when I graduated.
What did
Like,
you do in
doesn't
that
make
class?
any
Do you remember?
sense. No.
Oh, for us, it was just writing a resume. That was
It
the
was
whole
like
thing.
writing a resume, cover letter, prepping for job interviews.
Yeah.
We did that like a career test type
Oh,
thing.
weird.
Then I don't remember what I got, but it doesn't even matter anyway.
No, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure I got like clergy.
Oh
Like
my
it told me to like join the
God.
clergy.
Yeah, I was ahead of the curve, and then the curve became a sphere. So
It fell off.
fell behind all my classmates, and now I'm a drug dealer. So That's
A legal one.
hilarious. A legal one.
I had to explain
Illegal.
that to one of my friends because Jake came up to visit me, and then I don't remember how we came on the topic of weed, and then like Jake was like, I said something that like people would be like, "How do you know that?"
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, like no, like my family like works at like a
they grow weed.
yeah, they grow weed. They like grow it and
Yeah.
like make the products that like sell it. So like drug dealers, but legal."
Yeah.
Yeah.
literally, the dispensaries cannot run without us. But no, I didn't think I'd be doing this career, and they don't even really. I think now they offer college courses at certain colleges to like around cannabis.
Oh yeah,
cannabis
that's one of the
growing and
electives
stuff
my
like
friends is
that.
taking.
Really,
I took a cannabis class in my undergrad degree.
love that.
Yeah,
Love
I
that.
got like a 98 in it.
Oh my god, the
No,
world
but it
is
was-
progressing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that class that I took in university about cannabis, it was literally just like the scientific, like how it happens, but it was like the very, very baseline. It was literally grade 11, like biology.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I think the one that's being offered at my current school
Mhm.
is like a little mix of industry, a little mix of like
Okay.
law and legal and like the science side.
Love that.
Yeah. So I have a friend who's taking it because they thought it would be easy, and then they're like, "Why am I learning laws right now?" And I was like, "Well,
That's hilarious.
I'll admit, didn't really have much expectation going into university. Actually, I did.
Really.
Well, it wasn't anything like crazy. Like when I was trying to come up with like expectations that I had, I was like, I don't really have a lot, but the ones I do have are like kind of questionable.
Okay.
Well, not questionable, but just like, Kai, you were commuting. Like, why are you thinking this?
Okay.
One of those, right? Like, I'm not gonna be there for a party.
Right.
Also, the school I went to, not really party life.
Right.
Because it's in the middle of a major city. So most people, the drinking age in Ontario is 19.
Mhm.
Most people are already 19. So
Right.
like they're not having house parties. They're just going to the bars.
Right.
you know. It's like that now too in like college. Like they're just going to the bars.
Right.
Yeah. And like if you are having a party like in the dorms or in the house, it's like because you're underage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say now, Kai went to the University of Toronto.
Yeah.
So like right smack dab.
Downtown
Toronto.
Toronto. I will admit though, it does have more of a campus than like TMU.
Really?
Yeah. No, because TMU is like right beside the Eaton Center.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
it's like right at that corner, and it's
mhm.
actually very scary. I would not want to go there. Like,
I'm
at least like U of
dead.
T, it's like kind of like the streets aren't as congested. Like it's not like downtown. Like it is downtown, but like it's still
It could be worse.
it could be worse. You still kind of get like a sense of all like a campus because all of the buildings are at least close together,
Right.
and it's not like separated by some random like pawn shop.
Right.
You know,
Right. But it's not one of those universities where it's like a campus.
isolated. Yeah,
Yeah.
like where I'm at now, it's like a campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. And you're like walking through like class to class, you're walking by people who have like full-time jobs. And,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
No, it's weird though because like University of Toronto has 3 subway stops going through it.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, because there's one at the top of the border, one bottom border of the campus, and then one right in the middle.
So your life at U of T versus the college you're at now is very different.
Very different. Oh, I would say it's almost night and day.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And I talk about it to my friends that like it's so weird though because it's like I grew up in the city that we are in now, and it's like compared to like other people that I know, it's a big city.
I hate when people say that because it's like
It doesn't
messes me
feel
up,
like
but-
it doesn't feel like a big city, and like it's so funny because like I have friends in my like college now that they came from like towns that are like 3,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so, and they call like the city that we're in now like big, and like I'll tell them about my like U of T life, and they're like, no, like that's insane, like you're crazy for that. I'm like, well, you have to think like I came from like a relatively big city already,
Right.
so
Big,
it's like
busy.
so like it's not a big step up for me as it would be like for you,
Right.
because it's like I'm not going from like 3,000 people to like a
Hicktown
million.
to like
Yeah, I'm not-
downtown Toronto.
Yeah, like I'm going from like a place with already like almost a million people
Right.
to another place with a million people. Like it's not a big
Right.
difference in like lifestyle, really.
Yeah, and we've never
Yeah.
lived anywhere else.
Yeah,
Other than like the city. Like I was born in the Philippines, but like
you
I
don't
grew
remember
up
that,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like even when I was in college, very very briefly, in our city, people are talking like, "Oh my god, I'm moving. This is the first time I've ever lived in a big city," and I'm like,
Yeah, it's weird.
"That's so weird to hear. It's
It
so
is.
weird."
It's like I guess 'cause we're used to it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not as big of a culture shock.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially even like the place I'm at now. It's like it's a big city, but like it's it's double the area of the city that we're in now, but half the population.
Oh my god.
So we're more split apart, but it still feels like a small town.
right.
You know,
right.
because there's not a lot of like people.
Just a small town girl.
Yeah.
Kai's like, I'm living my small town girl life dream.
I am. No, I hate that place.
Oh my god.
It's so boring.
Really?
It's really boring.
Okay, so now
I literally just discovered like their downtown core too, because
Yeah.
like me and my friends went to karaoke,
yeah,
and it's literally just a street.
that's crazy. Like everybody who grew up in our city says that there's nothing to do in our city
Mhm.
and our city is boring. So if you compare it to our city, do you still think our city's boring?
No,
That's insane.
but to be fair, I was always kind of like a defender of our city right now.
Okay,
so,
fair.
To be fair,
Fair.
but it's more now because some people like I have friends in my program now, like my respiratory therapy program now, who did their undergrad in our city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like at the
okay,
university
okay.
in our city, and like they'll bash on it, but I'm like, you haven't even been to like you've always stayed in that one area,
Right.
you know, like it's a big
right.
city. There's things to do. I don't know, but yeah, I would say it's night and day. The experiences, especially at like college, is more applied in like Ontario and Canada,
Okay. Yeah.
whereas like universities like strictly like theory.
So that's like a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Okay.
That is
okay.
100% a real thing. There is literally no structure in university.
Okay.
Like you kind of just like you're in charge of like your own schedule, you're in charge of like getting there, you're like if you miss something like that's on you, whereas like I feel like college all your classes are picked for you, all of like except for
Weird.
like your electives,
Right.
but like you only get like 3 like my program you only get 1 elective a year.
Okay.
I got transfer credit so I don't have to do it, but like and it's such like smaller teacher to student ratios too, where it kind of like I think if you like I think that the transition from high school to college is much easier than from high school to university.
Okay.
Just because it's like university, it kind of feels like you're being thrown to the wolves.
Right.
Whereas like at least college, it's like they pick your courses for you. Like you just show up, you do your thing.
So you're like a goldfish in the Pacific Ocean.
Yes. You basically, yeah.
That's crazy. So in our, I guess like around where we kind of are, I don't know if it's like a provincial thing or like a thing in our entire country, but
Yeah, me
like
neither.
when you are in high school, you are like kind of labeled university bound or college bound.
They call it applied or academic.
Do you think that's a real thing?
I do think it's a real thing.
But like they should be labeling like university bound and college bound. Like there's that much of a difference between the lifestyles that like you will succeed better in one. Depending on who you
yeah,
are.
100% depends on like the way that you learn.
Okay.
Because like, and like you might not even know it because I was in university thinking like, don't really need to like get hands on. I learned so much better with like in applied settings like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
No, I think it's such a big difference.
Do you have lectures in college?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they as big as a university
No.
lecture? Interesting.
Well, the programs in college are also much smaller.
Oh, that's true.
It depends though, because if you're doing like, so in college they have like like upgrade kind of program things where it's like if you graduate high school and your grades weren't that good, you can either like they're like prep programs.
Oh, I was in one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Briefly.
like a lot of so a lot of like my friends, they have done like it's called pre-health.
Yes.
Where it's like you just take all the sciences and it like will prepare you for like the workload, like there's just the subjects and like the intensity of if you go into like an actual health related like program. And they have two options for that. So it's either like pre-health for diplomas or pre-health for degrees. So you can go to a college and like upgrade your marks and then that'll prep you for university and then you can have it for like college.
Like the program that I was in, one of the programs that I was in for like 3 weeks in college, it was like one of those things where it's like 3 years and then you can do like a pathway to university where you skip the first 2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
I can do that technically in mine.
Really?
I can go get another degree after this.
Interesting.
Which I was thinking about. I was like, maybe. Depending how good my grades are.
Right. I also love that like now there's kind of programs in colleges where you can get a degree.
Yes.
Because before it was like
completely separated.
Yes.
There are some programs where you can get both. You can get a diploma and a degree in the same amount of time.
Oh my god, love that.
Yeah, which
Love
I
that.
love.
In college?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a mix. Like, you know, like they have like partner universities.
Right.
But it's like you'll spend like 3 years at the college and 1 year at the university.
Okay.
Or like half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which I like because it's like why not? Why wouldn't you do that, you know? If that's what you want to do, like you get both, best of both worlds and you're not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to have more of like the college learning experience.
Mm-hmm. I think it also gives you just more hands-on experience in general, which I really like because like one of the expectations, okay, granted, this one very, very sheltered.
Okay.
We've talked about it before. We've talked about how sheltered I was growing up. We know how this is. But literally, I have this very vivid memory of my parents being like, I remember freaking out because I'm like, okay, what if I go... Okay, backtrack. For context, when I applied for universities, I applied to like 5-6 places.
Okay.
All of them were science related except one. One of them was English related.
Okay.
And I got in. And I only did it because I was like, what if I like change my mind and I want to do something not even like science related?
Right.
Which I'm like, at that point, I should have just taken a gap year or something because it's like, what am I doing? That should have been my first style.
Right.
But, and then, so I applied there and I remember freaking out because I like didn't know, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do. And like the fact that I think it was like right after I got the acceptance for like the English program, I was like, okay, now I have like options. Right. Whereas like if I just applied to all sciences, like I don't have an option. I have to pick a science one. But so like I was freaking out. I remember telling my dad, I was like, what if like I graduate and I don't get a job like right out of university? And then he was like, no, you're going to get a job out of university because that's what your degree is. Like everybody wants like a degree. And I was like, so I spent like most of my undergrad like believing that. And then like maybe like my second year after that happened, I was like, I'm kind of screwed.
Right.
Because like around third year you can start applying to like graduate schools in your third year even if you're not finished your undergrad. And I had a couple friends who were doing that and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. My grades aren't good enough for this. Like, I'm not going to get a job. My networking, like, I'm a commuter student. I'm not staying around for networking events. I want to go home. Otherwise, if I don't, I will literally go home at midnight,
Right.
you know? So then, I feel like that's another expectation that people have, that like a degree equals a job,
I know.
which is like really not the case.
No.
And university, like, yeah, you do have like networking events and they do kind of try, but it is so difficult to actually network in university compared to college.
Right.
Because in university, it's like first year classes are like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have one professor. And then I remember I have this vivid memory, my first week of class or like first like month of class after my biology lecture, another class would be coming in. But then so we didn't have time to like stick around for like to ask the prof questions. And the prof would literally be swarmed going out of the classroom because people are asking them questions. Like, I remember like walking down like the sidewalk like a celebrity.
I'm
like, getting asked questions. And it's so hard to like build a relationship with your prof and you have to go to like office hours. But even if you go to office hours, it's like you and like 20 other people. Right. So it's difficult to like kind of make that relationship. And plus like you have networking events, but like there's so many people there.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, you're just one person out of like 200 that they're going to see that day.
Right.
Whereas like college, and it's like so general too. Whereas like college, if you want to, the ratio between like your professor and students is like so low. Like all my professors know me by name.
Right.
You know, and like they all know us by name. They all like know us well enough to like we have a good rapport, all of us. And then like even networking, like it's easier to network because like the alumni is so much closer because of the smaller class sizes.
Yeah.
Right? They all know each other. It's a smaller world. Whereas compared to like a place like U of T where it's like how many people are graduating in your program? Like probably like 800 in the same day, you know? So it's like kind of difficult. I guess it really depends what you want to go into.
Yeah.
But regardless, like it doesn't equal a job.
Yeah, and what I've noticed too is like with what we were talking about, like the workload, the intensity, and kind of like the independence that you have to have in university. Like it's so much more mentally taxing in the sense that like you don't have enough spoons now to network.
Yeah.
So it's like I see it in people, like the amount more that you kind of have to like figure your shit out. Like it's like what are you gonna do now at the end of the day? And I've known a lot more people I think that got colleges that got jobs straight out of college and straight out of university.
Yeah.
Like as an adult looking at it, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of the programs in college are geared towards getting you a job.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas university, it's all theory. It's like, okay,
you're
so
learning.
You're learning, but it's like for what?
Yeah.
You know, like
you know everything now. What?
Yeah, and the thing about like being in a theory-based program or a theory-based institution like that, it's like you can't get a job until you get like a PhD, really.
Right.
Because like this is a conversation me and like one of my friends was having the other day, not like last night, or I don't know, recently. It was recent enough for me to remember. But my boyfriend came to visit us. Well, me. Me and my friend. No, my boyfriend came to visit me because we had like a whole bunch of me and my friends in my program were going out like bowling, for which was another thing. You're not going out with like a whole bunch of group from your program. Like if you're in university, you're bowling. Like we're so close. Anyways, like I love that.
Yeah, because it's like you're sitting in a lecture silently.
Yeah.
Like.
Anyway.
Hey guys, let's go bowling. Like no.
Like no. Whereas it's like smaller class sizes. I'm a big fan of the smaller class sizes.
I love that.
Yeah, but smaller class sizes, you see the same people every day. You're bound to become like friends or become friendly. Anyways.
It's kind of like work friends.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, boyfriend came up. Everybody was bringing their significant others. I was like, yeah, come up. He visited.
She's like, please come up.
No, I was like... That's beside the point. But he came, and then one of my friends' boyfriend, she didn't come out, but her boyfriend came. He's also in our program, though. It wasn't like a weird thing.
Right. Well, I was just about to say, I love that.
Yeah. No. We came out and we ended up driving him home because he like lives near me.
Mhm.
Because he took like an Uber and he spent like $15, and I was like, we literally live down the street from each other. We can just drive you back.
Right.
And then we were talking about it because he used to work in he took a gap year. He worked in a factory,
Okay.
like a welding factory or something like that, a steel factory. I don't know. And him and my boyfriend were talking about it because they worked like similar jobs. And then now me and like my friend are doing the same thing, and he looked at me and he was like, so do you like actually like what we're doing, or are you just doing it because it's like something that you like have to do? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I actually like it. I'm like, do you actually like it? And he was like, yeah, but like my roommate, who's also in our program,
Okay.
is just doing it because what he actually doesn't want to do doesn't make him any money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I was like,
okay.
what does he want to do? And then he was like, oh, like he did like a 4-year undergrad in like ancient studies. And then I was like, okay, yeah.
You
I
see
was
that a lot.
Yeah. He was like, he can't do anything. He can't even get a job unless it's like a PhD. And I was like, yeah, but even then, even if he gets a PhD, that doesn't guarantee him a job because most people in that job aren't leaving it until they're like dead.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Right. You have
So-
those are things you have to think about, but you're not thinking
You're not
about
thinking
at
about that at
17 or
17,
18.
yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like I know somebody who is doing her undergrad in anthropology, but then it's like now as an adult that she's thinking back on it,
Mhm.
it's like I don't really want to be a professor.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to do like a digging job and stuff like that, her professors were always telling her like the lifestyle that you have to live to be an actual anthropologist
Mhm.
is like very lonely and isolated. You
Mhm.
have to travel. You know, you don't have a lot of time for family and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And she was like, wait, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, you're learning all these things. That's fun. That's great. Like you're interested in it. But like Google is a thing.
Yeah.
Textbooks are a thing, you know?
That's a thing too that like a lot of people will say like, oh, university will be easier because you're picking the courses. You get to learn. You get to decide what you learn. So you learn what you like.
But it's
When
like you can do that not in school.
Yeah,
I do that every day
you
of
can
my
do
life.
that not, you can do that not in school, and also like that's not gonna guarantee you a job.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly. Like I do that at home
Like,
for
it's-
free.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, it's nice if your interests like you get paid to do your interests, but it's
Yeah.
also like that's very rare.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and which like it sucks, and a lot of people don't like to say that because it's like kind of ragging on your passions, but like
And it's like you can do
It's-
that without having to be in debt from a university
Yeah.
degree.
oh, that's another thing. That is another thing. Tell me why my entire program, like the amount of tuition I would spend throughout my 3 years for my entire diploma, my advanced diploma, is only $2,000 more than 1 year
That's
at my
insane. Yeah.
in university.
Yeah.
Because domestic fees for like U of T is like between $8,000 $9,000 for 1
Yep.
year. My entire like tuition for respiratory therapy, my 3-year advanced diploma, is $10K.
That's crazy.
I know, it's so much cheaper. You get so much more out of it.
Yeah.
Like
But it's like
Huh.
that mindset of like academic and applied when you're in high school. Like it's almost like
it's like the smart kids versus the stupid kids.
exactly.
And I think it's very harmful
exactly
because it's not like they're not stupid. It's just that they learn differently.
yeah.
They have different strengths, different weaknesses. Like I don't.
even in the sense that it's like
I think they're getting rid
college-
of that actually.
Are they actually?
Applied and academic, yeah. Because I have friends in teachers college, and they are like in their placements, and they're doing like one of them wants to be a high school teacher.
Okay.
So like she's in like the actual extremes and stuff. She was like telling me, she was like, no, like we're actually getting rid of it. I don't know what they're like replacing it with or
Mhm.
like doing instead of it, but I think that they're trying to get rid of it.
I do like that
Yeah.
because it was so.
I think it might
like-
just be a mix because I was like, are they just mixing them? And she was like, I don't know yet. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll ask you in a later date.
That's kind of true because it's like you can't really also like just mix everybody because then you have one
Mhm.
teacher trying to like
Yeah.
appease different types of learning styles. But it's like they like where we live, like it's so like universities for smart kids,
Yeah.
and like that's that, and then they end up without a job in so much debt.
Yes. And we've talked about it before. Like, it's like the stigma around college and university, like college feeling like you are just stupid and like when I went
You didn't make it.
yeah, you didn't make it. Like when I went to college, it was like a failure,
Yeah.
you know? And that's like really not the case. I think that stigma needs to be removed. And honestly, it's been better in the past couple of years. Like, but it's still there.
And it's like I was always university bound. I did very well in like academic classes, but I went to college because of my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I was like teachers like she's gonna kill herself if she goes to university. But it's like even in that sense, like it's like the load of what you can carry and succeed in. I would have succeeded better in college just because I can at that point focus on my mental health and like be okay. Whereas in university, I wouldn't have enough of a mental capacity to be like, am I okay today?
Yeah, no, the thing about that too is like university, you can pick your own schedule. So like for university, you can literally be like in my later years, I was off for like the majority of the week. Like I only
Right.
had classes 2 days, but those
Right.
days were stacked. So it's like you have more time, but then it's like the way that you spend your time outside of those classes, it's so much more like takes so much more energy compared to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like college is intense right now. Like I'm in school. Like actually, fun fact: the program that I'm in, we are in class the same amount of hours as first year medical students.
Really?
Yeah, at our neighboring university.
And here she is bowling, doing karaoke for the first time. Like in university, never.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell?
I mean, like you could do it in university, you just won't do well in your classes.
Exactly. Like that's
Like you have to
kinda
sacrifice
crazy.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like college is like a better work-life balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from what it sounds, it's like just a little bit more like student friendly.
Yeah, it is
Human friendly.
Human friendly, yeah. It actually is a lot more. Actually, my prof, after exams of last semester, she was like, "Guys, like, you can't be trauma dumping on us. Like, we're not tasked to like deal with your problems." She was that was basically it. She was like, "If you have problems, go to your counselor. I don't want you to email me and being like, I missed this. Like, I didn't do well. Like, can I redo this because like I have A, B, and C reasons why." It's like, guys, like. I'm not equipped to deal with that.
Right? That's hilarious.
Yeah. Whereas, like, in university profs, like, actually, it depends on the prof in university because I had this one psych prof that was like, would listen to like your trauma dumping.
Oh my god.
But she was also a clinical psychologist.
Okay, fair.
So,
fair.
makes sense.
Fair. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
How's dorm life from what you expected to what it actually is? Better or worse?
You know what? It's not bad.
Not bad.
Not
Love
bad.
that.
It's.
Love that.
I wasn't going in expecting like crazy parties, but I also wasn't going in expecting like U of T level studious
Right.
habits,
Yep.
studying habits. So I would say it's in between. I think it's chill.
Love
Not
that.
a lot of parties, but
Do you
when
like
you do
it
go
more
out,
than you thought you would?
I do like it a lot more. I can't tell if it's like the actual dorm or just me living away from home.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's hard to separate the two. But my biggest downside is that I don't have a car there. Because the city is so big and so spread out, it takes like 20 minutes to get anywhere, like a 20-minute drive to get anywhere. And then if you want to take the bus, because we get like free bus pass through school, it's a minimum of like 40 minutes to get anywhere.
Oh my god.
It's terrible.
No.
And then Uber's expensive too, so it's like damn. That's why I do all my grocery shopping here.
Okay, that
So-
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't have to like lug it on a
Right.
bus. Like
Can you imagine for
Uh-uh.
40 fucking minutes?
yeah, no.
Your frozen food is already thawed.
yeah, no.
That's hilarious.
No, and none of my roommates have cars because like half of them are like international students, and then like my one roommate who does have a car who lives like near us like doesn't have a car either because we didn't get parking passes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is also crazy. I think that my one downfall of my school is that there's not enough parking. Everybody always complains about the parking, and we have so much land. Like build a parking garage.
Fair.
They would make so much money.
Fair. That's true.
They charge so much for a parking pass,
yeah.
and they like always they're so strict about parking too. Like people get tickets.
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my
Like they have
God.
people like in like bright colored vests just walking around all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I used to. I think I only got a ticket once in like
Nice.
3 weeks.
Nice.
But I would just park like where I wasn't supposed to park, not on campus, and walk to the campus. You know, those like side streets or
Yes,
whatever.
yes, yes.
But if like you were there for too long, I think the residents would call.
Really?
Yes, because it's like, how do you even know I don't live there?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
No, they're strict about that too. Like in the neighboring neighboring neighborhoods, in the neighborhoods that are close by, like they're all student houses, right?
Oh, okay.
So like most people just rent them out, and they put up signs and like you can only park there for a certain amount of hours. There's no overnight parking.
Yeah.
And it sucks because one of my friends and like she's my mentor, but anyways. I'm like she's my friend too. And like we do hang out outside of class. So like
I'm dead.
she lives like a 5-minute walk, like not on campus. It's a student house. She rents it, whatever. But she can't park overnight. But they have like 5 people living in that house. So I'm
Okay,
like,
weird.
yeah, they can't park on the street overnight.
Like, what is she supposed to do?
They literally pack in the driveway.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
like every night, and you have to like account like who leaves first in the morning. Like
Right.
they have to leave a spare key just in case anybody else needs to like get out.
That's so
I
annoying.
know, it's so annoying and bad. What? It is what it is. Making friends is not as hard either
right.
as you think. When going into university and into college, both the constant expectation, I was like, making friends is gonna be so hard. What if I don't make any friends?
Right.
You need to realize that you're all in the same boat. Everybody's thinking, what if I don't make any friends?
No, exactly.
And then, like, it's not even about like making friends. It's so easy to talk to people. Just start talking to them.
Right.
And then it's like, if you vibe, then cool, keep being their friend. If you don't vibe, like, okay, you don't have to be friends.
Never speak to them again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like it's fine. And there's so many people that I just like follow on Instagram just because like we talked in class once and like I was like, maybe we'll be friends.
Right.
We just didn't vibe. But no, we still follow each other on Instagram. And I'm like, oh well, like congrats, happy birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have to be friends. But
Does living on campus make it a little bit easier?
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I would also attribute it to just the smaller class sizes.
Yeah, that's
You're seeing
fair.
the same, like, how many people are in my program right now? Like 60, 50, 60. You're seeing the same group of people every single day,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You're all going through the exact same experience.
That's like at work. Like, it's harder to have beef with somebody at work than it is to be friends with somebody at work. Because, like, you guys got to see each other every day.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You know? And then it's like, if you end up being, like, lifelong friends out of that, great.
Yeah.
If you don't, at least, like, at least you still have somebody to talk to in class. It makes it go by easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, go by
Yeah.
faster.
A little bit more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, freshman 15. I thought I was going to blow up. Not going to lie.
I'm dead. You know what though? I think it helps a lot that you have a kitchen in your
Mm-hmm.
dorm. Like it's not like it's like townhouse dorms. It's not
It's not like a traditional apartment dorm. It's a
Yeah.
townhouse.
right.
Yeah.
Because I could see like when I was touring universities before I graduated high school, I like those dorms where it's like
Apartment style dorms.
yeah, and it's like you have a room and then everything else is communal. You have a meal plan, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
I could totally see myself blowing up.
No, it's crazy too because like even at U of T, I had to buy lunch every day
Okay, fair.
because like I'm not lugging like half my kitchen around in my backpack. I already have like my heavy ass like lab equipment and stuff and like my laptop's heavy and like everything's heavy. Even then, but you know what? I think it's because I was walking a lot too.
That's true.
That's true. I was clocking like 10K steps a day.
That's true. And there's a lot to eat in Toronto.
There's
like
a lot
there's
to
a
eat in
lot of
Toronto.
options.
Oh my gosh, that's the one thing I miss. Don't get me wrong. City I'm in now has good food, but it's so far away.
Right.
So far away.
It's like a chore to even have an enjoyable meal.
It is. It is. I have to like plan my meals ahead instead of just being like, well, I have this. I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
I have to like strategically buy my groceries, which is like fine because it helps budgeting in the long run, but like still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to go downstairs to your own kitchen, or not your own kitchen, but like just one you're sharing with like 5 other people,
Yeah.
is like in your house is like nice because it kind of like that's how it's gonna be when you're out of college. You're renting an apartment. You know what I'm saying? So that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing, don't be mistaken. Don't think that your high school study habits will be enough.
No, literally.
Because they're not.
High school does not prepare people enough.
It does
for
not.
post-secondary.
It really does not because, like, the procrastination that I experienced in first year, it was such a culture shock. My worst grades I've ever had in my life were first year of university.
Really?
Those are the worst marks I've ever had in my life. And I kept having them until, like, you slowly figure it out as like each year progresses. So then like you can see a steady trend of my grades going up. And now in college, I'm like, great, I can take what I learned from university and like use them study for college. But I feel like it also shouldn't be like that. I should have gotten it like together earlier, but it's not like that for everybody.
Yeah.
And I know people who kick it in high gear first semester of university, and like it does pay off. But like it's so hard to shake the habits that you have from high school,
Right.
especially if you excelled in high school, because it's like I was also talking about this to some of my friends because we were talking about like the differences between like high school, university, and college after our one exam, and they were like, yeah, no, I thought that I could literally just like cram and study like in the hallway outside before the test and like do fine. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, high school does not prepare people enough because like I was one of those like I
Gifted.
didn't yeah, like
Yeah,
I didn't stay long enough in a college to even
Mhm.
really know. Like I didn't even finish a semester at any time I went. So but I was also one of those students that just like I got really good grades
It
like
came
without
so
trying.
easily. Yeah, it came
Exactly.
so easily. Yeah.
So then like when I was in college and it was kind of like my responsibility to like go to my next class or not,
Mhm.
or like whatever, like you have like these gaps in between your classes and it's like you have kind of different streamlines in your brain for each class. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of, I was like, oh, why? Like I just like didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because I had spent my entire high school life just kind of like
Not
slacking
doing
off
it.
and
Yeah.
getting by.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that high school is just like a little bit too easy on kids.
Yeah.
Not too easy on kids, but with the expectation that you have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life at 17, 18, you're too easy on those kids.
Yeah.
Like at that point, like high school should go until you're like 22. And like
Like Hogwarts.
like the average age to start college and university should be 25 when your brain's developed.
A lot of people in my program are older.
Yeah.
They're so much older. Like, I can count on one hand how many people came straight from high school.
That's crazy. And they're probably going to change their mind.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, they're probably gonna get out there and be like, they're either gonna love it or they're gonna be like, I don't know, I don't want to stay here.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the amount of people I know
Yeah.
that ended up changing their mind
Mhm.
after being in their 20s, before or after they finish their degree or
Mhm.
diploma or whatever, is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're not ready at 18 to know.
Yeah. So so my program started out with 90 people in the fall.
Yeah.
Right now, 7 months in, we're sitting at, a third has dropped out. We're sitting at 60.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and the majority of those people came straight from high school.
Yeah.
They came straight from high
Yeah.
school, and like there's probably only like 4 or 5 people who like stayed. Which
Right.
like if you consider like there's probably like 20 people who started out in from high school. 5 are left. That's like a
Like,
25%.
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like even the people who stayed, a lot of people are so much older. Like everybody I talk to, like I'm kind of on the young side and I'm 23.
Right.
Yeah. Like there's this one girl who lived in Vietnam for a year. She like did a career change. A lot of people are doing career changes.
Yeah.
My one friend, Zach, he was a paramedic, got injured, became a nurse, worked all throughout COVID, and now he wants to be an RT. My one friend, Erica, she was a paralegal.
Weird.
Yeah,
Okay,
she was a
I see. That's
paralegal,
cool.
and then she became an RT. There's another girl who, yeah, a lot of paramedics are RTs now that I'm thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah, my prof was a paramedic, and then he found out that he got into the program, but he was like, they found out he actually couldn't stay in the program because he's like half blind in one eye. He didn't qualify for like the special license to like drive an ambulance.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's upsetting.
that is so upsetting.
And it's like sometimes when people do a career change or like they change their mind or whatever, sometimes it is like the complete opposite from what
Yeah.
they went to, but sometimes it's just like you were just maybe in the wrong streamline or like
Yeah.
maybe you like something better. But
No, I don't think high school prepares kids.
no, and like gap years and victory laps need to be more
Normalized.
Exactly.
I don't know why they tried they did get rid of grade 13.
Right.
And like they want to get rid of grade 12 plus. I don't know if that's still going on, but like most of the people I know who like went back for another year benefited from it.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
they stayed in what they wanted. They like had more time to figure it out
Yeah.
instead of rushing into it. Same with one of my boyfriend's friends. That I met yesterday, he didn't go to post-secondary at all because he did. He went to trade school.
Okay.
He went to trade school, and he was like, no, because like he went back another year, and I think he also took a gap year because he didn't know what he wanted to do because everybody around him was going off to post-secondary.
Yeah.
But he didn't know what he wanted to do, and he ended up going to trade school, and then he makes a lot of money now. So like,
Is this the manager?
no.
Oh, okay.
He's like an oil rigger.
Oh, okay.
He made like 120K this year.
Right. And it's like, okay, yeah, be in debt from med school for years and years and years and years and years and years. I
Yeah.
worked at a grocery store, okay? And my store manager made 6 figures a year. Like,
yeah, there's so many options out there that aren't talked about. Like if you really care about making money that much, like
literally manage a grocery store.
yeah,
Like,
there's less like ways that won't make you want to kill yourself.
exactly. And
'Cause,
would put
like-
you in so much debt. And
Yeah. Honestly, like the cost sink fallacy, med school students are like the number one example for that.
yeah.
Yeah, which is like so sad.
I know,
'Cause
because all
it's
they
like-
want to do is like take care of people.
I know.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I knew this one guy in high school who wanted to be a doctor because he just wanted to make money.
Okay, fair.
And I was like,
there are
well,
those ones.
There are those ones.
Yeah.
But some actually do want to take care of people and
Yeah.
leave the world a better place.
That's
No.
hilarious.
Also, like, one advice that I was given, I forget who it was by. Oh, it was by one of my profs. I think it was. Yeah, it was by one of my profs because she started her PhD. She didn't know. She has like her bachelor. She's an RT. Her master's, and she started her PhD. But she was like, I didn't know if I wanted to. She talked about this in front of the class, like during like our success day or whatever, like our student success day, where they just give us tips on how to study.
I love that. I love that.
It did help me. I did succeed that first semester, but she was like trying to decide between like medical school and like getting her PhD because like she worked as an RT for like how many years? She started in like 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, and she still works
Yeah.
and does professor stuff. So she was like, I might as well just try and become a doctor if I'm
Right.
already like might as well. And she was like asking everybody like who has like an undergrad, like you don't have to tell me, like you don't have to raise your hand, but like did anybody of you think that you're gonna become a doctor? And then Kai's like I was sitting there.
Kai stands up.
I know. But thankfully I know it just wasn't me.
Right.
It was not me. You'd be surprised by the amount of people in that program who have the exact same like path as I did.
Like story. Yeah.
As I did.
How
It was-
many of them were of color?
I'm just kidding. Just me.
Really?
No, two. Me
Oh.
and my one friend and my one friend who went to school here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are
We're
a
both
lot of-
Asian.
Are there? Okay, fair.
We're both
Are
Asian.
a lot of people in the program of color or no?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a good diversity mix. I
Interesting.
wouldn't say that it's like I wouldn't say that like white people definitely are the majority still,
Okay, fair.
but it's not like a big majority.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Good mix.
Yeah, it's not like I would say it's like a 65-45
Okay, true.
or like a 60-40%.
True.
Like it's not bad at all. And like our faculty too is really mixed.
love that.
Which I like. They teach cultural competency a lot. That's one of their biggest like stresses in SimLab. Like the first semester SimLabs were all about like cultural competency and like communicating with people who like language barriers and stuff and communicating with people who can't traditionally communicate with you like verbally.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then now second semester Sims are all like actually the procedures.
Right. That's important though.
It is really important, and that's actually they put that on job postings, like as like a skill that they like they want
What do they put?
cultural competency. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Oh my
but God.
God.
a lot of people originally thought they were going to go to medical school before going into RTs, and my professor was like, I thought about it too, but then I talked to other like actual doctors at her job that she's like friends with, and they were like, no, like their mentors told them, and then they told her. She was like, if you can't see yourself being anything other than a doctor, then go to med school, but if you can see yourself doing anything other than that, go do that thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a good thing I'm here then.
I love that.
Yeah.
That kind of goes with like everything else
Yeah.
too, like med school especially, because that's like
It's such an investment. Like if you think
Yes.
about it, you have your 4 years of undergrad. If you're lucky enough to get into medical school after your 4 years of undergrad, that's another 4 years. And then after 4 years, when you become a doctor, you have like, depending on what your specialty is, you have residency. And then you have like a fellowship after that. Like that's like, you're going to be like 40 by the time you can actually be on your own.
exactly.
And like, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I think that's a good piece of advice that everybody should take with their life. Like if you can picture yourself doing anything else, go do that thing.
Yeah.
Because clearly that's you have passion there, or you don't have enough passion here. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like
There's something missing.
Everything is not what it seems. What's that song? Is that from Grey's Anatomy? Is that the Grey's Anatomy theme song?
That is the Wizard's Waverly Place theme song. That was crazy.
That was insane.
I was like, Grey's Anatomy.
Anyway. That was fucking hilarious. I have my younger brother is a senior in high school, and I have a friend who has a younger sister that's a senior in high school, and they now call grade 12 plus students super seniors.
That started going around when I was in.
Did it?
It did,
I
yes.
never heard that. I was
yes,
like,
super seniors. It's so funny. I used to call my friend who went back.
oh my god,
For
that's
12 plus super senior.
hilarious. I had never heard that. Oh my god. Super senior is crazy. So that's all that we have for today. Thank you for watching and or listening.
Make sure you're following us on all of our socials at HarshWordedPod.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.